Hey, it's Franco. So today we're in this Chicago home. We're gonna be taking a look at a Mitsubishi heat pump system installation. Let's get to the backyard to take a look. But before we look at the unit outside, a little bit about this home. We got about 2,300 square feet, traditional Chicago suburban home. And we got two zones with one Mitsubishi outdoor system. One zone is the upstairs, another zone is the downstairs. Let's take a look at the setup. Here's our outdoor unit, our heat pump and air conditioning system. We got for equipment a Mitsubishi Smart Multi heat pump. It's a 4-ton system. Model number for this one is MXE SM48. The unit is running right now at very low speed. It's a very quiet unit. It's currently running on the cooling mode. So what this system is, it's a heat pump. A heat pump and an air conditioning are very similar pieces of equipment. Here are the neighbor units, our traditional air conditionings. So right now this unit is doing pretty much the same thing as a traditional air conditioning is doing. But this is a variable speed system, which allows the system to modulate its capacity up and down based on what's needed based on outdoor temperature. So the unit can ramp up and ramp down anyone from around 20% to 100%. Providing very precise, efficient comfort and much more efficient. Being a heat pump, this unit is also going to be doing a lot of the heating of this building. So Mitsubishi calls it hyperheat or H2I. That is their definition of a cold climate heat pump, which means you can make very efficient heating down to minus 13 degrees outdoor temperatures. So for this setup, as we mentioned, we do have two zones. So down here in the basement, we're gonna take a look soon. We have a gas furnace with a Mitsubishi dual fuel coil. It's the intelli-Heat system. And then upstairs, we got a line going up there. We do have an air handler for all electric heat with backup heating. So for this setup, it's just one outdoor unit. That one outdoor unit has one refrigerant line that comes into a branch box. So what a branch box is basically an electrical panel, but for refrigerant. So the unit is injecting either hot or cold refrigerant into our branch box, and then our branch box will send it to the two indoor units. One of them going to the basement, again the other one going up into the attic. And with this setup, we have two zones. This is replacing a space pack system that they used to have. They only had cooling upstairs and a boiler for heating. We actually removed the boiler and most of the radiators. And now the system is going to be taking over for the upstairs zone. The heat pump is going to be doing 100% of the heating. It has an electrical backup heating for backup if needed. But on the lower level, basement and main level, we do have a gas furnace connected to our heat pump. Let's take a look at the basement zone. So here is our first zone in the basement. This system is going to be servicing the main level plus the basement. So we have our Lennox gas furnace, a two-stage gas furnace. But here is our intelli-Heat system from Mitsubishi. And our refrigerant line coming from that branch box outside. Comes all the way here. Goes to the branch box that we just took a look at, and then to the outdoor unit. So this is zone 1 of 2 with just one outdoor unit. Here's our control box. So for this zone, the system again is running in cooling right now, but dual fuel. We have this coil program at 32 degrees, which means that whenever the outside temperature is 32 degrees or higher, all the furnace will have to do is run the blower, but all the heating will be produced by the outdoor unit and just warming the coil without using any gas. When the temperature drops, the furnace kicks in. This is fully adjustable, but we currently have it set at 32. So this is the first zone. We did pull a boiler, so there used to be a water boiler right here. We still have some of the piping in place, and we went fully ducted. So homeowners wanted to finish the basement and remove all the piping so they can get a little bit more ceiling height. Here's our brand new ductwork, one of the supplies, and it comes this way. Here's our main trunk that's feeding all the supplies to the main level. So this is independently controlled by a thermostat. There's also Wi-Fi. From the upstairs zone, which is air handler, all electric. We're gonna take a look at that one now. Here we do have a 2-ton in capacity for the coil, cooling, and heat pump heating. And we have a 66,000 BTU 2-stage gas furnace. It's a super clean installation. We do have our humidifier, and we also have our very popular APCO system air purification to have clean, fresh air in the home. Let's take a look at that second zone. Here we are on the living space of the second floor. Above us in the attic, we have our air handler. So again, this home used to have a space pack. Those are the ports for the space pack. Space pack is a compact high velocity cooling system. Here we have our traditional vent for our Mitsubishi air handler. So we added a number of supplies, one in every room. That's our new supply. The older space pack ports, they're gonna be removed later. We still have our boiler radiators, which are fully disconnected. They're gonna be removed at a later time, but they're no longer operational. So this house has 4 rooms up here, same in every room, our supply vent and our space pack ports. And another one right over here, and the original space pack ports and our radiators, which are no longer operational. And then up here in the attic, we have our Mitsubishi air handler with all new ductwork right over here. So we were able to keep the existing perforation for the main return, which goes into our return box, and then to our high efficiency filter. But here's our air handler. So we have a Mitsubishi 3-ton air handler connected to our outdoor unit. And over here we have our electric backup heating. And then our supply plenum with all the runs. What we did is we kept all the ductwork through the outer part of the attic, because this is eventually gonna be finished into living space. So we gotta make sure the ductwork is out of the way. So it wraps around, and then it goes to all the supplies. And this unit is actually sized with a little extra capacity. So when they do finish this space, we're gonna be able to add another supply out of the plenum to feed what is going to be the master bedroom at some point. But the beauty of this system, again, is we do have the one outdoor unit powering both indoor units. So both the air handler and the coil downstairs. When it gets really cold outside, all the capacity of the heat pump outside is going to be allocated to the air handler, which is a 3-ton or 36,000 BTUs, which is going to be allowed to have full capacity down to minus 13 degrees. This air handler is going to be receiving 36,000 BTUs of efficient heat pump electric heat. And if they need to, they do have the electric backup heater. We're planning and hoping that that doesn't really get used much, but it's there for redundancy. And fully 2 independent zones with the 1 outdoor unit. It's a beautiful setup. And the big thing is comfort, variable speed technology, very stable, consistent temperatures. It's been a huge upgrade from space pack and boiler. They were working fine, but this is definitely a step up in efficiency and comfort. So that's it for this one. Again, another beautiful Mitsubishi system. One question that everybody probably has always is how much these things cost. It varies a lot home to home depending on how much work needs to be done. This particular one was in the $37,000 range for the whole thing. However, these systems qualify for utility rebates from both the electrical company, the gas company, and also a federal tax credit. There's also great financing options. They're a great value if comfort is important in your home. Also, they have a good amount of energy savings over time. This one's going to save the homeowner here in this Chicago house quite a bit of money over time, but it's also going to provide really amazing comfort. Until the next one.